Welcome to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker, and of course today happens to be Thursday, the 7th of November 2024. Bradley Rule is my spiritual advisor, and I continue to celebrate that great election victory in the United States. So I think it's powerful. But here in the Bahamas, there has been some very interesting development taking place. People who have been committing suicide and or attempting to use suicide as a mean to blackmail. It's kind of strange. I'll give you a story where, notwithstanding the lesbian activist Erin Green attack on me, I shall show you how she does not know my work. I shall show you how a day or two ago, a 30-year-old Negro man attempted to blackmail me with, what is the word I'm looking for? He threatened subtly to commit suicide. And I was faced with his threat. I remained calm. I took my phone and I called the minister responsible for social service. That's Miles LaRota. I asked him, wherever he is, I needed him to come to the scene. He did come, and he was able to successfully defuse a young man whom I shall describe as a young man who threatens to commit suicide as a form of blackmail. Erin Green don't know my work, and I'm coming after her. Having studied and prayed over it, she's an evil woman, and she doesn't know my work. So I'm going to take on Erin Green, all right? So I thought I'd tell that to you in view of the fact that it was an interesting experience either on Monday or Tuesday. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. I am struggling against the forces of evil, and I'm prepared to take my bat and fight back. This is Freedom March. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. We must jail those who use what? I'm confused today. Welcome back to Freedom Arts. My name is Rodney Monker. I'm going to talk to you about how there are people in the Bahamas who apparently is using suicide as a form of blackmail. I'll give you a story about Tuesday, the 5th of November, where I was at a local gas station and I was confronted with a young man who seems to have been well dressed, save that he drew to my attention, and I'm quoting his word. He said, "Mr. Monker, don't mind, I look well dressed. I am stink." And I said, "You are?" He said, "Yes." And as he drew nearer, I said to him, "I must agree with you. You really smell stink for Drew." And he was well dressed. He told me about the fact that he'd gotten a job. He's been in training, but he's very embarrassed and devastated over the fact that he has to go to work every morning, but he has no place to bed. He wanted to know what I could do to assist him. And then I began to ask him, who was his member of parliament? Where does he sleep? I think he sleeps by maybe the 66th step, someplace in that area. I wanted to find out from him if there was not some small area where he can take a bucket and in the wee hours of the morning catch a bath. And as I listened to him, instinctively something said to me, "Call Miles LaRota." And as I called Minister Miles LaRota, I said a silent prayer. "Lord, let the minister answer me." And he did. And I said, "Miles, I have an unusual situation here this morning. I'm at a public place, gas station. I have a 30-year-old man who is subtly threatening suicide. And where are you? He appears to be unarmed. Do you think you could come to the scene?" And Miles LaRota then asked me precisely where I was. I told him. He said, "Well, I'm just down the road. I'm heading in that same direction." It was a very interesting story. And as I think about it over the last couple of hours, I think he's a man that the police should just arrest and prosecute him. And perhaps I should testify against him because I didn't like the fact that he was using suicide as a form of economic blackmail. When Miles LaRota appeared and I told the minister the circumstances of the complaint, and Miles LaRota politely questioned the man. And among the things he asked the man is, "What is your name? What is your date of birth?" And instantaneously called some senior official in the Ministry of Social Services. And upon giving the name, it was just phenomenal how they were able to tell us everything about this young man and the positive things that the Ministry of Social Services did for him. Miles LaRota seems to have been shocked, but he's a very disciplined man, and it was amazing how Minister Miles LaRota, in a very good way, diffused the situation and had a quiet talk with this young man, whom I now suspect that he goes about threatening to commit suicide. And we live in an age now when people are threatening to kill themselves in your presence. You can't just ignore it. A woman like Erin Green, she wouldn't know anything about this. I'm coming after her. She's an evil, wicked woman. Erin Green, one of the senior leaders of the lesbian movement. My spiritual advisor is Bradley Roll. Bradley, welcome to Freedom Arts.
Thank you so much. Good to be here, Sandra.
The forces of evil, led by some very wicked lesbian people.
Yeah, but don't allow them to distract you.
I'm
do
not.
Your, do your work. Don't.
My
just
spiritual
dismiss
advisor.
them, man. You just think about worrying and
My
back and
spiritual
forth.
advisor.
Sandra, it's not going to solve anything.
The forces of evil.
What does the Bible? What does the Bible teach?
Tell me
about-
what the Bible says I must do when a lesbian woman starts
Just pray-
spreading
just pray.
lies.
Just pray for them.
Huh?
Pray for those.
You think
who-
prayer could
who-
work
whose
on
prayers
Aaron
fall-
Green?
You know, why
You
not?
think prayer
Yeah,
can
man.
work on
Yeah.
Aaron Green?
Yeah, prayer changes things.
Huh? Prayer can't work on Aaron Green.
Pray for
'cause
those that despitefully use
Aaron
you,
is
man.
not
Bless and do not curse.
Aaron is not saved.
Bless and do not curse. Eh?
All right? I mean, she is the
How
Nassau
you
guardian.
gonna win her over if you back and forth with her? You know, don't do that.
I'm
son.
not back and forth with her.
Don't forget,
Go
when
ahead,
they,
my friend.
when they go low, you go high.
This is soft. This is soccer. When she go low, I'm going to kick her. Okay? Anyway, you were my spiritual advisor. I'm going to pray
I tried.
over your advice, but Aaron Green and the Nassau Guardian are refusing to sell me the tape so that I may hear it. So she's wicked. I'm coming after her, and I just want her to know that. But Tuesday was a very horrible day for me as I exited a gas station and was confronted by a man who subtly told me that he was prepared to commit suicide. And in that second, I wonder what I should have done, because after all, I did have my stick. And something said to me, do you lick a man who threatens to commit suicide? I didn't know, but thank God I have the gift of language. And immediately I recognized that there were many people in the area of the gas station who have the gift of tongue. And I said to them, listen, if I say to you, on alley, please come and help me to lick this young man down. Because I didn't know if he had a weapon, but he did have me intimidated. Because I don't normally have people tell me that they're gonna harm themselves. And 30 years ago, if a man told me he was gonna harm himself, I would have been able to drop kick him and disarm him. 30 years later, I would have difficulty doing it. But I thank God that Minister Miles Aroda showed up and may have said something that caused that young man to think twice, to walk away, and still extend to him an olive branch. You were going to pray, my spiritual advisor.
Yeah, I'm
were
just
you?
going to read something
Go ahead.
quickly. Coming from the book of 1 Timothy 3. And Mr. Scott, I just hope this answers your question concerning leadership in the church. And the office we're going to look at is the office of the deacon. In 1 Timothy 3, the Apostle Paul charged to Timothy says, in the same way, deacons are to be worthy of respect, sincere, not indulging in much wine, which it doesn't mean that they can't drink, but they not indulge in plenty of it, not pursuing dishonest gain. They must keep hold of the deep truths of the faith with a clear conscience. They must first be tested, and then if there's nothing against them, then let them serve as deacons. These are the qualifications. In the same way, women are to be worthy of respect, not malicious talkers, but temperate and trustworthy in everything. A deacon must be faithful to his wife and must manage his children and his household well. So in Wisdom 11, it talks about the deacons' wives. They are to be worthy of respect. They're not to be malicious talkers, but temperate and trustworthy in everything. And then a deacon, of course, has to be a married man. A deacon must be faithful to his wife and must manage his children and his household well. So the office of a deacon definitely it's an office for a male, and the qualifications are clear there in 1 Timothy 3, verses 8 through 12. Mr. Scott, I hope that answers your question. Thank you so much. Producer, the Word of God is forever and ever blessed. Amen.
I thank you, my
Back to
spiritual
you,
advisor.
Sandra.
May I ask a question as it relates to that high office?
Deacon, diakonai. It's
May
the
I?
Greek word, yeah.
Can we have a female deacon?
No.
Can we not have a deaconess?
Well, the word deacon there, diakonai, actually means servant. It means one who serves. But in the capacity as far as teaching and in the church is concerned, the office there makes reference to a male. I know people just use the word deaconess, but there's no qualifications for a deaconess. You can't find it anywhere in the New Testament. They use the word, but there's no qualification to say, well, the deaconess must be so and so and so and so.
If we went back to the beginning of your church, that would be
The first century.
The first century.
The day of Pentecost.
Were there any deaconess in the first century?
No.
What about deaconel?
Deaconel. No. Who's deaconel?
Don't worry about his vice spiritual advisor.
But you did have women who served in the first century churches, but they didn't hold the office. They didn't hold the office of the bishop. They didn't hold the office of the deacon. And of course, women didn't hold the apostleship office as well. All of those offices were held by men. The office of the apostle is an office held by a man. The office of the bishop is the office held by a man. And the office of a deacon is the office held by a man.
Okay, but there was no provision for deaconess.
No.
And
I tell you, people use it. A lot of churches, like the Baptist churches, they say deaconess so-and-so. But you can't go to the New Testament and see any qualifications for the office. So it's an office that's been created by man and not by New Testament sacred scripture. Does that disturb you? Or?
oh no, I'm not just my spiritual advisor. From time to time, I'm called upon to ask you one or two
let me ask you a
questions. Yes.
Are there any women bishops in the Catholic Church?
To the best of my knowledge, no.
There are none.
Okay.
They understand the office. They understand it's an office for male. They understand that. That's why they don't appoint women bishop. As a matter of fact,
how did you get to bishop? I was talking about deaconess.
Yeah.
While you're shifting the conversation.
Are there any deaconess in
Let me just talk to
Are there any
my
deaconess
good friend.
in the Catholic Church?
Just want to say, bonjour, tout le monde. L'Hervé Deaconel Pierre. Deaconel Pierre, spiritual advisor, not D. Dans century premier, il pas de mounio qui relè Deaconel or Deaconel Pierre. Merci. Anyway, it's powerful. When you see Deaconel Pierre, tell Deaconel Pierre I said, spiritual advisor, what he has said. It's powerful. It's powerful. Before I get into some of the hard core issues, I just want to talk about one or two small matters. As you know, we are drawing near to the general election, and you are aware that there are many young people who have turned 18. There are many young people who have been naturalized as citizens of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas, and I usually recommend that they should go to the Parliamentary Registration Department for the purposes of being registered, for the purpose of being in a position to vote if there is an election. And then, of course, over the last 3 years, quite a number of people might have moved from one constituency to another. And the law makes provision that once you would have registered, there's no need for registration anymore in your lifetime. But if you have moved out of your constituency for a certain period of time, you can go to the Parliamentary Registration Department, perhaps with your voter's card and or a new telephone or electricity or cable bill, perhaps as evidence to show that you have now moved from one area to another. Well, I've had a number of complaints where people have been telling me that they have gone to the Parliamentary Registration Department and they're not able to find anyone. And I couldn't figure out what that means. You would recall that I would have told you just prior to the 2017 general election, the former Prime Minister, the Right Honorable Hubert Alexander Ingram, he and I had a conversation. He had said some things to me about the Parliamentary Registration Department, and he said to me that he would like for me to just quietly go there, spy on them, see what they were doing. And I used to go, and when I get there, I said, listen, Mr. Ingram has asked me quietly to come here and spy on y'all. What are y'all doing that cause Ingram thinks that I should come here and spy? And everybody would say, we're not doing anything untoward. I said, well, be careful, because Mr. Ingram say I should come here and watch y'all. So I'm watching y'all, okay? But I never saw anything untoward. So every time I saw Mr. Ingram, I would say, listen, I saw nothing untoward. But the government has made a decision, apparently, to move the Parliamentary Registration Department from Farrington Road, and it is now being taken to Tonic Boulevard in the compound of the Bahamas Hotel Catering and Allied Workers Union, but at the very front where the Workers Bank, or the old Bank of the Bahamas, was once located. So today I went in search to see where has the Parliamentary Registration Department gone to, and so I'm able to report that they are doing some wonderful renovation at the old Bank of the Bahamas, or the old Workers Bank, located on Tonic Boulevard. That's the old Harold Road. And this is where the new Parliamentary Registration Department is going to be located. I'm not sure when they will officially open. I'm not sure why, since they have not arrived yet at this location, that one is unable to go to Farrington Road and still register. But people have been complaining to me that they have been going to the Parliamentary Registration Department, that they cannot find anyone. We'll talk about it when we come back. This is Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monker. It's a wonderful day in the Bahamas. It's a beautiful day in the United States. Donald Trump is in charge. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. We'll be right back after the break. Hold on, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back to Freedom Match. My name is Rodney Monker. And then, of course, there is now a Marco alert. I'm certain you'd be familiar that the police is now empowered that if there is a child missing, they issue what is called a Marco alert. And apparently there is a 16-year-old child. The name is Nimoy. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. Nimoy Campbell. That's capital Nimoy. He has been missing from Sunday, and this appears to be the first Marco alert. So it's Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I think that's a long time. If a boy or a child is missing on Sunday, I think as of Monday, we should just issue Marco's alert. My spiritual advisor, would you kindly read that for me?
Open it up for me, please.
So that the public can be alerted of this missing boy or this missing child.
All right, so missing child. This is a Marco's alert on the missing child, Nimoy Campbell, 16 years of age. Of course, he's from East Street in Providence Island. He's last seen Sunday the 3rd of November 2024 at his residence. He's about 5'5" in height, brown complexion. He is slim built. And if you've seen this young man, please contact the police at 919, or you can contact the Criminal Investigation Department at 502-9991 or 502-9992. All right, so let me just read this again quickly. This is a Marco's alert. It's a child missing. The child's name is Nimoy Campbell, 16 years of age, of East Street, Providence. Last seen on Sunday, the 3rd of November, excuse me, 2024, at his residence. He is 5'5" in height. He's brown complexion, slim built, and if you've seen Nimoy Campbell, you're asked to contact the police at 919 or the CID department, the Criminal Investigation Department, at 502-9991 or 502-9992.
And of course, this Marco alert has just been issued by the relevant authorities in the last 10 minutes. You might as well pay some bills then.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Let's do that. Abaco, it's been 5 long years in Bahamas. Are you ready? In celebration of the 5 years that we've strived and thrived since Dorian, Royalty Sounds proudly presents Reggae in Paradise, the return to Chalupa City featuring Mr. Singing, Tyrus Raleigh and friends. It's all going down at the Royal Recreational Grounds Thanksgiving weekend, November the 30th. Gates are open at 8 p.m. Entertainment by DJ KC242, DJ Monk, DJ Hype, DJ Unruly, Jiggy Fire, Pressure, and the Mighty Pencil. Early bird tickets available until November 4th. VIP is $75 and Platinum for $150. Regular tickets are VIP for $100 and Platinum for $175. Tables and skyboxes are available. Tickets available at KNS Auto and G&G Ferries in Marsh Harbor, or you can call 367-2665. For online tickets, go to Instagram sound.royalty for more information. Multi-Discount is a store located on Monroe Avenue, offering a wide range of home goods and appliances at affordable prices. They cater to various styles from simple to sophisticated, making them a great option for new and old parents or anyone who's looking to freshen up their home. Everybody needs money always, so send money internationally and locally through Western Union with MoneyMax. Download the MoneyMax app today to send cash instantly to a family member, friend, anytime and anywhere. Sending money has never been simpler. The app is available on the Apple Store and Google Play Store. MoneyMax, live your Max life. All right, Sandra.
This is powerful.
Back to you.
Well, folks, I've been flattered. Would you believe that the governing Progressive Liberal Party has extended an invitation to me? They want me to join them at a grand fair which they are holding on Saturday, the 9th of November at the Western Esplanade. It's a huge PLP fair where various constituency, various branches of the PLP will have stalls. And guess what? I have been extended a special invitation. So I'm going to extend it to everybody. Come, join me and thousands at the Western Esplanade where the PLP is having a grand fair. And there will be different branches that will set up their various stall. Okay? So you better, let's join force, meet me there, and let's have some fun in the sun. It's powerful. Well, having said that to you, the Deputy Prime Minister, Chester Cooper, has had some interesting things to say. Apparently, someone, some Bahamian, it is being alleged, put together a video to which they have spread it internationally with the purpose of damaging the reputation of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas as it relates to crime. And apparently that has upset the Deputy Prime Minister, who is also the Minister of Tourism. As you know, tourism is our #1 industry, and the country doesn't need citizens to deliberately orchestrate what I call black propaganda, dirty propaganda, spreading it in the international community with the express purpose of damaging your tourism product. We all know that if tourism is damaged, that will have a major impact on our economy. It will have a damaging effect on the lives of our people. After all, for the last 50, perhaps 80 years, the Bahamas has benefited, has invested, has developed the tourism product. So it's a very tender industry. It's a very important industry. It has given the country a very good standard of living. And when you talk about tourism, you're talking about people to people. And when you're dealing with people, people need to feel safe. People need to feel that if they come to your nation, your people are so sensitive, your people are so intelligent, they're decent, they're responsible, they're loving, they're going to be comfortable with them. It's like how this morning, Marcus, Louis, and I, we went to our Key to have some breakfast. And while sitting at one of the local restaurants, some tourists came in. And after looking around, they approached our table and they said, "What are you all having for breakfast?" So when we told them what we were having, they were curious. And so we said, well, just hang around. And they did. And then lo and behold, the waitress came and bought some boiled fish. And we said to them, come, take a look. In fact, you can even have a taste. And they looked at our boiled fish, and I told them, Marcus, he's going to have stew boiled grouper. And so we had fun explaining to the tourists the various types of local breakfast that was being served here in the Bahamas, and they had a wonderful time and they felt comfortable in asking us the question, and Marcus, who was excited in ensuring that they understood the Bahamian, breakfast. So that is how important tourism is, and every Bahamian is a tourist ambassador, because the first set of people that the tourists shall meet will be who? Local citizen. And so it's so important in this kind of delicate industry to be kind, to be sensitive. And that is why the late Sir Clement Maynard came up with a program many, many years that was called People to People. Now, of course, there were many citizens who, they abused that program. It was a wonderful program, people to people, all right? So they've been bad-mouthing tourism, and the Deputy Prime Minister, his duty, see, one of his principal duty as the Minister of Tourism is to protect the industry, because he knows that if he doesn't protect the industry, it is going to have a negative impact on our economy, and then the standard of living that our people have come to be accustomed to shall deteriorate. And if the tourist money ain't coming, you know who like to go to the States for Christmas shopping? See, Christmas coming. You ain't gonna have the tourist money. You ain't gonna have the American money. So tourism is so important. And the good thing about the Commonwealth of the Bahamas is we knew it. We knew it for the last 100 years. We knew it. And while the other people in the Caribbean thought we were stupid and came up with all kind of negative connotations to describe our involvement in the tourism industry, we ignored them. And we continued to develop it, and we were able to maintain a higher standard of living than them. Now the world is competing for tourism. So we have to be smart. We have to guard the industry. We have to recognize what this is. And if you ain't sure what this is bread and butter. Now if I was in Haiti, I would say this is pain avec beurre. I hope I'm saying it correctly. I haven't been to Haiti since they left. So this is what I'm saying, and the Deputy Prime Minister clearly is very disturbed over this attack, and I suspect that there is an evil hand involved, and I would want to say to those who want to play politics, let's find another issue to play politics with. Let us not play politics with the economy. See, let's don't play no politics with the economy. Let's find something else to play politics over. But when it comes to the industry, when it comes to welcoming the tourists into the country, in welcoming foreign nationals into the country, they start off wondering, is that place a safe place to go? And so when we begin to spread lies with a political objective, that is dangerous, and we don't want our people not to be able to maintain a good standard of living. So I'm going to just read a few things to you. Cooper, that's the Deputy Prime Minister, the minister responsible for tourism. He says, social media video on crime, political and misleading. Tourism Minister and Deputy Prime Minister Chester Cooper spoke out against a video that he said featured a disturbing and misleading mismatch of past reports intended to harm the country's reputation and deter tourists this fall and winter season. He said Bahamians created the video to suggest an impending travel advisory similar to the ones issued by the United States earlier this year. Quoting the Deputy Prime Minister, it is evident this was crafted for political purposes, not to inform, but to discredit our nation's reputation and mislead prospective visitors. So you see, that's dangerous. That does not only destabilizes the country, but it has a terrible effect on the economy. And when it comes to the economy of the Bahamas, it's like a national treasury. it is the duty of every citizen to protect it. Now, if you don't protect it, once you lose it, deal your right to know. So that becomes very important. And I want to publicly pledge to the Deputy Prime Minister and the Minister of Tourism. And so I started off by saying to him, Deputy Prime Minister, I am an F&M, but as an F&M, I promise never to spread lies and propaganda on this country with a view to damaging our economy so that there can be a political gain. And, Deputy Prime Minister, I go a step further. Anyone who does that, they are a traitor to the nation, and we should really take spoiled egg and sock them. This is powerful. My spiritual advisor.
No comments.
So, therein lies the conspiracy where many of us are not bold enough to say it is wrong. And I'm going to invite my spiritual advisor to condemn misleading propaganda. Will you, my spiritual
It's already
advisor?
been condemned. I mean, this is something that's been spoken about for years, you know.
What's that?
Misleading information coming from social media and so on and so forth. It's, if there's no easy verifiable facts, then they have to be dismissed, eh? Would you say so?
Do you think that we should do that?
Why not?
Well, it's wicked. We shouldn't do that, should we?
Dismiss it.
Okay.
Dismiss it.
Do you agree
if this
that
was true, that
you
know.
agree that it is wrong for us to do it?
Yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so you join
Any
me.
misinformation
You
that
join
damages
me.
a person's character or damages a product of the Bahamas, yeah, man. You gotta condemn it.
So you join me in condemning us for
Now,
doing it.
we don't know who's us. That's why I told you I have no comment on this, you know.
Jesus of mercy.
Could you respect that?
Does it
Let me
matter?
ask you a question. Could you respect that I'm saying I don't have any comments?
My spiritual advisor,
Could I not say I don't have any comments? Yes or no?
as a Christian leader, it is required
Now
of
you're
you.
turning into a dictator. Senator.
It is required of you
Senator.
to set.
All evil is wrong. Anything that's not right is wrong, is condemned by the scriptures. I don't have to go into details. All unrighteousness and ungodliness is wrong, it is sinful, and it should not be practiced. It's condemned. Now let's move on. Thank you.
Could you
Next.
Could you say it?
Santa.
To all-
Oh God, why this man is doing this to me?
Could you say it to all political factions? Can you say it?
Man, Santa, let's move on, man. Please, man.
It's just
I'm
amazing.
begging you to let's move on.
You wanna move on?
Everything wrong is condemned. I'm already laying the playing field open for all. All unrighteousness, ungodliness is wrong and should be condemned. Now let's move on.
Okay.
Thank you. Jesus.
It's amazing, eh? Once you figure out it's us,
And then once I figure out nothing.
you're
if
ready
it's
to
wrong,
cover.
it's wrong.
It's wrong, it's wrong.
Yeah.
This is powerful. Well, let's look a little bit at the things that upsets the Deputy Prime Minister. There's been a local situation here in the country where an American white woman, she and one or two Negro men have been charged by the local police with conspiracy to kill her white husband. That is a very interesting case where a white American woman is alleged to conspire with two local Negro men from the family island to kill her white husband. And of course, she has been given bail. But there have been certain stipulations which were attached to the bail. But she being an American, she was allowed to return. And the next thing that the court discovered here in the capital, that she was in the U.S., her and perhaps one or two of her Negro co-conspirators, they were on a wonderful talk show in the state, perhaps discussing the case, which is not a practice here in the Bahamas, and notwithstanding that their arguments could be that they were outside of the jurisdiction of the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. The Bahamas' judicial jurisdiction set the standard as to how she is to conduct her affairs when she set foot in the 50 states of the United States of America. But she did not comply. And so when she returned to the Bahamas, Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson, she revoked her bail and sent her to the King's prison. And of course, well, the American lady then immediately sought an application at the Court of Appeal. And she went to the Court of Appeal asking that her bail be reinstated. So let's look at what happened at the Court of Appeal here in Nassau. So her surname is Shiva. Shiva to remain in prison after bail appeal loss. So Lindsay Shiva, an American woman accused of conspiring with two Negro men in Abaco to kill her white husband, will remain in custody after the Court of Appeal reserved its decision on a judge's ruling to revoke her bail. Shiva, 37, was remanded to His Majesty Prison in late October after Senior Justice Cheryl Grant Thompson revoked her bail, citing repeated violations of bail conditions and her involvement in pre-trial publicity. Her co-accused, Terrence Battle, was also remanded due to alleged bail breaches. Their lawyers challenged the judge's decision, arguing it was based on a misinterpretation of the bail's condition. Damian Gomez, King Counsel, who represented Shiva, disputed the claim that his client violated the conditions of her release by leaving her mandated location in Alabama multiple times without the court's approval. He said the judge erred in interpreting the word, quote, and I quote, resident, end quote, as not being allowed to take short trips away from her mother's home. He added that a short-term rental for a weekend does not constitute a change of residence. So that is what is going on. So the judiciary is active. Damian Gomez, he did appear before the Courts of Appeal, so the Court of Appeal have reserved their judgment. So the American woman, she shall remain in the custody of the state at the King's Prison in Foxhill until such time as the Court of Appeal makes a determination. So that is kind of exciting what is taking place in the court. And of course, as you are aware, this woman, she apparently also has on an ankle bracelet. So the new fad in the Bahamas is ankle bracelet. And, you know, I would have told you in recent time that a lot of killings that are taking place, when they check, they find that many of the people who have visited the crime scene just before the shooting, perhaps during the killings, they had on ankle bracelets. So the question now is, how easy would it be to now find some of them because many of the men who are wearing ankle bracelets, they have become experts. Now that may sound strange to you. Nobody will tell it to you. I'm able to tell this to you, and my intelligence is independent of the state intelligence. See, my intelligence is independent of the government's information. In fact, my information sometimes is better than the government own. And I would have told you some time ago how I had a neighbor who used to thief, and he used to take the ankle bracelets and put it on the cat. And everybody swear it's not him, right? But it was the cat. Anyway, this is Freedom March. God save the Commonwealth of the Bahamas. God save the King. We'll be right back after the break. Hold on, everybody. It's powerful today. Welcome back to Freedom March. My name is Rodney Monka. Bradley Roll is my spiritual advisor, and of course, there will be no birthdays today, so we'll go on. Well, yesterday we told you about a murder. The media say it happened through Bow Alley, but the street name is not Bow Alley. The the old Negroes call it Boulders Lane, Boulders Alley. That's in Bainstown. That's just off of Fenderson Street, where a young man was killed. So let's see what the media say. We spoke about it yesterday, but let's hear the media account of it, because the killings are taking place and there seems to be no solution. So another conflict turns deadly. A man was gunned down to become the country's latest murder victim of the year. Superintendent Devon Robinson of the Southern Division said the victim, a man in his late 20s to early 30s, was initially on, quoting them, Bow Alley and fled north before collapsing after being shot. Although one of the Negro media understands the incident involved one of the man's relatives, Superintendent Robinson said he, quote, could not confirm that at this point of the investigation, end quote. Asked about concerns over rising crime in the area, considering police were called to the same location 2 nights earlier, Superintendent Robinson said, we have initiatives going on in this area, walkabouts, community checks, and we have a number of operations going on at this time. There's no concern at this time of the rising crime. MP for Bain Grandstown, Wade Watson, who said he visited both recent crime scenes, commented on the impact of the incident. Quote, one case, it was an uncle and a nephew, and the other case is 2 friends. He said, it's just based on conflict, and as a result of that, we end up with 2 murders in 2 weeks. So we want to say to the young man, find alternative ways to resolve conflict, and it's a sad situation, he added. So the police tell us, or the MP tell us, that one day it was an uncle and his nephew, and then 2 friends. Okay, and you'll recall just the other day, a man and his wife, they had a dispute going on, and her brother got involved in the dispute, and he took a cutlass and chopped his wife, brother, allegedly, in the back of his neck, and the wife, brother, then choke him to death, or did a combination of 2 things, broke his neck while choking him to death. So the woman now ain't got no brother and he ain't got no husband. So we talk about conflict resolution, and everybody tells us, if you have a dispute, you must find an alternative way. You need conflict resolution. But nobody tells us how to do it and where to go. You recall that when they did the killing at the top of Augustus Street a couple of days ago near Charles Carter, the late Charles Carter family home, the officer in charge of the Nassau Street Police Station, he also told young men, you need to resolve. If you can't resolve, call the Sandlands Rehabilitation Center. Now, he seems not to realize that in our culture, when you mention to me, and I'm 67, when you mention to me, and I used to work there, Sandlands, you're telling me to call the Crazy Hill. Now, but I used to wait there. But ingrained in the culture, no one has been able to alter our mind. Even though we play cool, we play sophisticated, we play that we liberated. But he told them, if you will resolve this, call the crazy hill, call Sandilands. Remember I said he even didn't provide no number. So really, there is a lack of clearly identifiable places and people to contact if you have conflict. All right? But it's nice to say, listen, you people, can't you just contact somebody? Can't you talk to the pastor? Can't you talk to the social worker? And one of the things that we seem not to recognize is the whole society is crazy. Don't mind the pastor. Don't mind the social worker. Don't mind that. These people got all kind of issues. All kind of problems they got. They got all kind of problems. Because what is happening in the society has affected our collective minds. So, it's nothing clear. It's a strange society. In families, we can't cut things straight. Your daughter got a husband, you can't cut things straight. The woman say, "No, she know." See, they're up against me because I know little things. They know their daughter bring home the wrong baby. Now let's say we can overlook that one baby she bring home was wrong. Okay then. But she bring home 2 more, 3 more. And they want that man to put up with that. And they tell him, be a man and just walk away. They realize his ego has been hurt. His feelings has been hurt. His woman has laid down for another man. But they tell him, don't worry about that, be a man. Just walk away. Don't touch her. It's domestic violence. What was she doing when she gave herself away to the next man? Oh, that ain't your body. That's her body. So what are you up against in the society? Nobody wants to say to her, woman, you should be faithful or go to the nearest court. Right? Nobody want to do that. Everybody want to ignore people's feelings. Ignore it. And I know what it is. I know what it is. I'm 67. I've been faithful. And the next thing I know, they want to put a 35-year-old man on me. So I said, what you mean you want to put a 35-year-old man on me? They say, he's your child. I said, now listen to me. If he looks like me, he's either my father's child or my oldest brother, but he ain't my child. I had to put up with that. The young woman said to me, listen to me, Mr. Munker. You's my brother, daddy. So I said, where you get it from? Who told you that? So she said, don't you know my mother? I said, who's your mother? She showed me. I said, yeah, I know your mother. I said, your mother, I put more placards and ha. I march her up and down, but she was never my girlfriend. But that's what she said. So I got out of bed. I said, okay, I have a friend named Nicola Jacks. I want you to take the 35-year-old man to him. And if Jacks approves it, tonight, him and his mother can move in Black Village. So they said, no, the mother's dead. I said, she died? Well, he could move in. All right? Because I trust Jacks. And Jacks is still studying the boy. Still studying him. And I'll tell you something. If Jacks miss and tell me that's my child, tonight he will move in. I don't know what I can do with him when he comes. Right? But nobody seems to realize that I'm upset. Because they're putting a 35-year-old man on me, and I never lift him up when he was a baby. I could understand if I used to lift him up when he was a baby. But he's too old now for me to lift up. So it's some kind of things that is happening in our country. And we're not fair. So you can have your little domestic violence. I'm not condoning it. I'm not supporting it. What you want to happen, if your daughter, you know your daughter bringing home the wrong baby. You know it. Don't you expect that there's going to be violence? Huh? I do counseling, you know. And I'm able to do counseling dry-eyely. They say it's a wrong baby. I said, sister, he thinks it's a wrong baby. She said, no, it ain't the wrong baby. I said, well, he thinks so. So what you should do is go back to the hospital. Take the baby, tell the doctor, this man thinks it's the wrong baby. And you're going to have to come up with another baby. These are some of the things that happen in the country. But you tell the man, oh, leave her. How I can leave her? I ain't beat her yet. I'm only human. Oh, she your woman. But you wake me hard, you make me minor, all kind of things, and you think that I should just put up with that. So how do we avoid domestic violence? People have to be faithful. People have to be, you know. So it's a bunch of complex situations taking place in our country. And then, of course, the laws are not strong. And then, of course, if you're an F&M, our party has told us that we ain't gonna be pleased with the court. So we're not even accepting what the court say. As F&Ms, I have the statement. I have the statement that the woman has accused the man of death threats, rape. She go to court. They give her 8-woman jury. You know, to be accused of rape, and when you get in the jury, is 8 women looking at you? But thank God, these were 8 Bahamian women who understood the slickness of women, who understood that there are thousands of women in this country who bring home the wrong baby. You know what's to bring home the wrong baby? You know what it is to clean other man, baby, nanny? Man. Jesus. How y'all want the Commissioner of Police to resolve that? Huh? So therein lies a lot of these social problems. And we can end domestic violence now. Just be faithful. Don't mind your husband is unfaithful, you be faithful. Why you should be faithful? He can't bring home no baby to your house. No matter what you hear he doing out in the road, he can't bring home no baby. He can't get pregnant. But you could get pregnant. And you end up bringing home the wrong baby. And then, of course, we find that many women, they even don't look at the biological makeup of the man. Because based on the biological makeup of the man, you're supposed to bring a baby that looks like him. That's what you're supposed to do. But for the man to look like Ebony, and you bring Ivory home, come on, it's domestic violence. But nobody can say that to you. Because the women who have the women organization, they ain't safe. Now I know you don't believe it, right? You have to learn to do what we call CAUSE, that's C-A-U-S-E, list, L-I-S-T, searches, S-E-A-R-C-H-E-S. And when you would have learned how to do that, you will then recognize that many of these people who are advocates, they're not safe. They're not safe. And they think man's stupid. They think they should be able to bring home the wrong baby. But let me warn you all now, anybody who bring me home the wrong baby, anyway, I'll leave that just like that. I become emotional with wrong babies. Okay? So that's what you're up against with all these various things happening. the Commissioner of Police had promised that we'd be able to come to the police station and perhaps complain, get counseling. Okay? Even that you have to be careful of. You know how many times, you know how many men went to the police station to complain, and the next thing they know, the police run off with their wife. The police run off with their girlfriend. Do you know that? So these are some of the things. Now we can get over it if we can set some standards and we maintain them. And a family would either be objective or keep out of it. Simple as that. If your daughter bring home the wrong baby, you tell your daughter she on her own with her husband. It's simple as that. And if you bring home the wrong baby, then you are an advocate of domestic violence. The woman who doesn't bring home the wrong baby, she don't believe in domestic violence. The woman who brings home the wrong baby, she believes in domestic violence. Because she knows either she can chop the man or the man can beat her. That's the practicality of life. Okay? When I leave here today, I'm going to deal with a case like that. And the good thing about it is the woman is so beautiful. Beautiful woman, beautiful baby. But we suspect it's the wrong daddy. Now, what a beautiful woman with a beautiful baby doing with a wrong daddy. Nobody want to deal with that. The woman group, since they are not safe, they'll come up with all kind of sociological argument, ignoring the human feelings. You're supposed to bring me no wrong baby. What the hell you doing bringing me wrong baby? What you got me doing minding other man baby? You got me up all night mixing problem, mixing flower pop, and giving the wrong man baby my love and care. And that's what you want? And you think you could avoid domestic violence? Man will beat woman, and woman will throw potash on man until people are faithful. As simple as that. That's what you're up against, okay? I'm sorry to say so, my spiritual advisor.
Yeah, but that's not going to resolve the issue. I mean, we understand your argument, you know. We understand it. And, you know, it can really push people over the limit or push them to the limit if you discover that the child is not yours. But we have men who can walk away from that.
Okay.
You know?
Okay.
We have mature men. Don't think it's impossible, okay?
Okay.
But we have mature men who can actually walk away.
Walk away from it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
You don't believe that, right?
All right.
But
Okay.
yet still you start running on about beating women and throwing ash.
I'm not
You know?
advocating anything.
But don't say it then.
My spiritual advisor, if
You-
women...
Don't forget now, you're trying to resolve.
Yes,
this-
and I'm trying to resolve it by telling people to be
the crisis
faithful.
with
Don't
violence,
bring...
right?
If you're going to bring me the wrong baby, at least bring me a baby that when my ma see the baby, she fool. You fool my ma. How you could give me a
Well,
baby when I had a baby home, my ma say to me, now listen, I only gave this child this little bit of cream because this godchild. But when you leave here, please don't bring this child back. Mama, why?
Because you recognize that the child is not. I don't know how they do that. Because when the child is born, I mean, you really can't tell. The child features change over time. I don't know how they do that. So you got to give this thing time.
My spiritual advisor, if I'm an ugly man, you have to bring me an ugly baby.
Yeah, but
Okay?
yeah, and I understand that you're trying to deal with the
I think it's time the
anger
Commissioner of Police tell the woman them this. This is where the police is going wrong. The police is not saying that the Commissioner of Police, And the senior people, they have to tell women to be faithful, to avoid domestic violence. All right? You have to tell them that. You have to tell them, don't bring the wrong baby home. It's simple as that. Okay? Woman testify, ex-boyfriend threatened her with death and stabbed her in head. Now, what is one of the problems? We have not taught our daughters how to choose a man. It's simple as that. We don't. Therefore, our daughters are choosing men who are stabbing them in their head. So what's going on? Nobody's sitting down and is teaching the girls how to choose a good man. Nobody is attempting to educate their daughters, to get them to learn a profession, to learn a trade. Nobody. So we have all these social problems. Nobody is saying to your daughter, if you are bad, the man can beat you. I'm not trying to advocate violence. But if you're bad, the man can beat you. Don't be bad.
Sandra, man, don't do that, man.
My spiritual advisor, you don't understand.
Even though you may know that, the mere fact that you're saying that, you may be emboldening people to don't say that. Just speak peace and love.
I am speak the voice.
And tell the man, listen, if you're in a relationship and for some strange reason you recognize that your partner, whoever it is, has not been faithful, in the first instance, you want men and women to get married and to foster good relationships. But, we do have relationships where people are not married, and, if it happens that you find out that your partner's not been faithful, then you just have to walk away, Sandra. It may be difficult. I know it sounds strange for a lot of folks, but a lot of people do walk away. It isn't impossible, all right? People walk away and say, all right, well, okay.
Yeah, yes, I agree with you.
You've been unfaithful? Okay, the next man win. You move on.
Right. Just like that.
Yeah.
Just
It happened.
Help me out with that. Go ahead, teach me it. Say it to me now. Go ahead. Use my wife, and you bring home the wrong baby. And what am I supposed to say to you?
You've been unfaithful.
You've been unfaithful.
And now I must move on.
And now I must move on.
That's the reality.
That is not human. That's not.
Yes,
that's not the way human work.
It
No.
has happened.
No. It doesn't work like that.
You just say, my wife, you've done something.
My wife, you've done something.
That's very displeasing to me.
No, man.
That's very displeasing to me.
It don't work like that.
And so, I must forgive you and move on.
No, it don't work like that.
But to tell you one thing, it doesn't give you a right to beat her. You understand that? Because there's laws protecting her from that. You recognize that, right?
Okay.
Right. So if your wife has been unfaithful, you cannot lay your hands on her.
Okay.
You sit her down.
Okay. Honey.
You sit her down.
Honey, you've been unfaithful
in the TV room. Yeah, you sit her down in the
Honey,
TV room.
you've been unfaithful to me.
And it's very displeasing
You
to me.
brought home a Chinese baby.
And it's displeasing
I
to
say,
me.
Ching Wong 42. It could be me and you. I didn't want to do. Lord have mercy on me. Lord have mercy. I'll be right back after the break. Let's be faithful to each other and avoid the conflict. Be right back after the break.